Now what we're going to do is we need to move across these 2 stitches here over into the next space. So I'm just going to put my hook through, draw up a loop, and again I'm going to do a slip stitch. So we're not increasing in height. We want that to stay really nice and flat. But now we've worked over into the other space. So now again, we're going to do a chain of 3. Now into this same space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Now we finish that, we have to do the other side of this little petal. So we're going to do, again, a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we have to tack this down. So we go into this space, grab a loop, and just do a slip stitch. That needs to stay super flat there. So now you can kind of see we have 2 little petals. Very, very cute. Like I said, this you can do this exact same thing if you want to make big flowers. Just get your 4-weight yarn. Now again, we need to skip these 2 stitches and we need to move over here into this other space. So I'm going to go through, draw up a loop, again a slip stitch, so that stays nice and flat. Now we're going to chain 3, and again we're going to do 3 double crochets right into that same space. Oops, I split a stitch here. Let me rewind that. Okay, now we're going to again do a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Guys, if you're new followers, on days like today when I'm talking a lot of stitches, most likely I will miss some comments, and it's not intentional. I'm not trying to overlook anybody. It's just very challenging when I'm trying to count and everything. So we have some fabulous folks here on the live, and they will help me to try to answer some of your questions. But please, please don't feel like we're overlooking you, okay? So again, here we are with a knot in my yarn is what we're here with. Okay. So we've done 2 of the double crochets. Here's number 3. Now again, we need our chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to tack that down. So we go back down into that same space, grab a loop, and do a slip stitch. Now we need to move over here to the next space. So again, we're going to draw up a loop and just pull it through with another slip stitch. Now we're going to again chain 3, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets right into that same space. Okay, now we have to finish the last side of our little flower. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now we need to go into this space and what I call tacking it down. We just join that with a little slip stitch. You can really start to see all the little petals coming to life now. Now we're going to skip over into this next space. So again, I put my hook through that space, draw up a loop, bring it through that other with a slip stitch, and now we've moved into that space. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we need to tack this down. So I go back down into this space, pull a loop up, and then just pull it right through that little stitch that you had on your hook. So you want that super flat. Now again, I need to skip these 2 stitches, go over into the next, drop a loop again with a slip stitch. So you can see it kind of puts a little bit here if you don't get it super tight, but it just kind of adds to the aesthetic of the flower. So now we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, oops, 1, 2, and 3. And then into this space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Now we need a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Oops. And again, we're going to tack down that with a slip stitch. And now here we are in the final. And you want to be sure and count this and make sure you have 8 petals. If you end up with less than 8 petals, it's going to present problems when you go to add the white to make this into a square. So here's number 3. I'll tell you all how the affair did in just a moment. Let me just finish this up. Now this is our last petal, so we're going to do again the chain of 3, tack this down. Now it's very important, you can kind of see here, these 2 stitches, again we need to skip those, and you have to go into this space where you first started and do another slip stitch. That will help to kind of finish that off. Now you would think that we're going to be done here, and we're not. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. Let's close our magic ring. Now that we've got our little petal. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so here's the center of our flower after we kind of tightened it up. And like I said before, you want to make sure you have 8 little petals, okay? Let's do another count, make sure I didn't mess up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I kind of slipped in a little bit this morning, so I feel like I'm a little foggy. I was up late last night working on a baby blanket. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to actually turn my work. And now I'm going to work in the back of this flower. And what we're doing is we're going to add the framework to be able to attach this white that will make this into a square. So if I kind of, forgive all the ends that are here, guys, I haven't woven them in. But you can kind of see how there's these little spaces where we have done a chain, and then that allowed us to attach the square. So it's not, you can kind of see if I pull it to the side. So we're going to add this little framework. So see how it's in yellow? We're going to do the same thing in pink, okay, and make it so we're adding this little framework. So now I'm going to, I did a chain of 3. I'm going to go over here into this stitch that we had, and I'm going to split in between those 2 white stitches all the way through, grab a loop. Now you want this to be tight, guys, and do a slip stitch. Again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I can't remember if I did 2 or 3. So you want these little chains that you're doing here, you want these to be snug. You don't want them too tight that they're like misformed and misshapen. But if they aren't tight enough, then you're going to have really big spaces, and your flower will not sit flat to the square. So you got to kind of find the balance, especially if you're not using thin yarn like I'm using for this. Like if you switch to like a 4-weight yarn or something, you might have to do more or less of the chains. And so that's something you're going to have to kind of do on the fly. But you can see there's another chain now that we've tacked down with this slip stitch. So again, I'm going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now again, there was 2 of these white stitches. I'm going to split them, go right in between, grab a loop, again, make sure that's tight, and then a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now again, we're going to split those stitches. Here's a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Normally when I'm doing these not on live, I will take the time to sew in all of these tails and get them out of the way. Okay, so I really recommend that you guys do that as you're making these little flowers. They're already a pretty tight space, but sewing in tails on live takes a lot of time and it's kind of boring. So pretend that they're all woven in fabulously, even though they're not. So again, I moved to the next space where the little petals were, or the white center flower. Draw up a loop, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to go into these again, split those little stitches, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3. Getting closer here. I find this yarn is kind of staticky as well. It's a very interesting yarn for sure. Okay, now we have to do into the very last space here. So again, just kind of maneuver your yarn in between those little petals. And we're going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to tie off. So I've added these little chains behind each one of the petals. So you need a total of 8 of those little chain sections. And you can kind of see them here. I know it's kind of harder. This is very small when I'm doing these flowers, but you can kind of see if I put my scissors behind them here. Okay, then what we're going to do, we're going to take our stitch markers and I'm going to mark where I want the corners. So I'm going to put in a stitch marker in the first. Here's the second. I'm going to skip that. Now here's another one, the third. I'm going to put another stitch marker. Again, skip this one. Now into this one, I'm going to do another stitch marker. So basically I'm alternating these. We had a total of 8 of these little sections. Skip that one. Now here's this one. And then here again is the skip. So, sorry, all these strings make it very hard. Hopefully it's not messing you guys up too much. But you can kind of see these 4 stitch markers that I added. Those are where our corners are going to be. So basically this is the foundation chain. You can kind of see there's our fun little center of our flower, all of our little petals. This is a dimensional flower, okay? So if we look at it from the back, you can see here, here's a corner. We had 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then on the side, we had a grouping of 3. And then here we are back to the corner. So by adding those stitch markers, it's telling me where I'm going to do the 2 groups with the chain 2 in between. So you'll get to a point when you work on these that you don't have to put in your stitch markers. But it is very helpful when you're first trying to envision how these are going to go together. BB said, I'm new to crochet. Do you have any tips? So my first tip is don't use thin yarn like I'm using today. You need to get yourself like a 4-weight yarn. And when you're looking at yarn, see if I have a skein here. Whatever yarn you go to the store and buy, this is a little different yarn, but you can see here it says 3 lightweight yarn, and then it'll tell you for both knitting and also crochet. So it says right here a size H8 hook. So you pick out the yarn that you're going to use. Don't get a 3. Make sure that it says 4. And you don't have to buy a whole lot. Just buy a one that you like. And so maybe something like Red Heart Super Saver, or you could get, if you go to Walmart, like the Mainstays acrylic, something like that. Then when you look at your hook, now my hooks are a little different. I use vintage hooks, but the size of the hook will be listed right on your hook. So you want to make sure this matches up with the skein of yarn that you bought. if I did the flowers in white, how do I carry on after the first round? You would just not snip off where I snipped off the pink. You would just keep going with the white. So basically right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie on with a slip stitch, and I'm going to do a standing double crochet, but if I didn't snip off here, I would just do like a chain of 3. So here's our corner. Just one second. So BB, and then pick a project that's beginner friendly. And this project that I'm working on today is probably, I mean, I made this flower, so I don't know the classification, but I would say it's more like an intermediate flower. You want to pick something that's maybe like a flat scarf or a dish scrubby, but you're going to have to do a lot of practice of just doing rows. So row of single crochet, how to chain, and there's a lot of beginner friendly tutorials both on YT and on TikTok. So that's where I would recommend you start out, but don't give up and don't get frustrated. It takes a lot of practice. The most challenging thing about crochet is the tension between your hand and how you hold your yarn and your hook, and keeping the size of the stitches. And that's the most difficult thing. And that just takes a lot of practice. Okay, so Paula, I'm going to start here with a standing double crochet. I'll show the standing double crochet in a little bit, guys. Let me just show how we finish this little square. I'll show it how we do it on the next one. But I'm going to put a standing double crochet into the first chain space. This was the corner. Okay, so I had my little stitch marker I took out. Now I need 2 more double crochets. So if I did my flower all in white and I wanted white for the background, I just would carry on, and instead of doing a double crochet here, I would just do a chain of 3 and start my corner. So we've done 3 double crochets. Now I do a chain 2. Now this is a corner, so into this same space we need 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm working on that framework, those chains that we made on the back. And that's what allows this flower to be like dimensional. Now guys, I have totally screwed up, okay? And this is a good reminder because I tend to do this all the time. Because I flipped my work and I put the stitch markers in the back, the thing that I just messed up on is I am working now from the back and I'm supposed to be working from the front. So I need to frog all of this out, and this is a very important step. Like I said, I get going on this and then I find inevitably I end up doing this incorrectly. So make sure you turn your flower back around when you're starting on this corner. Just put the petal forward and work on that chain. So let's redo this here now that the flower is facing front. You want the stitches to look pretty from the front, and I mean, they don't look horrible if you did turn it, but I'm a little, I like it to be exact. So anyhow, I did 3 double crochets, chain 2, and now I need another 3 double crochets. And this is our corner. So this is where the first stitch marker was, okay? So now I could put this little petal up, and now I'm going to move to the next one. So I put this petal down. Now this is the side of our square. So here's the little chain that we made. I'm going to go over top of this pink tail as well. And I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So that's the side of our square. Again, you can put that little petal back up, move to your next one here, and here's my stitch marker. So that tells me once again I'm on the corner. So pop that guy out. Now for the corners, we need 3 double crochets, chain 2. You can kind of wiggle that around if it feels like you don't have enough room. And then again, 3 double crochets. So again, you know, we made those chains, but you can see how important it is that those chains are tight to the work, because you don't want this to be really like sloppy and loose, right? You want this to sit kind of flat on your square. So there's the one side. You can see there's the corner, and here's a corner. Now I'm going to put the next petal down, and again this will be the side. No stitch marker, so this one gets 3 double crochets. Okay, move to the next one. Another stitch marker. That tells me, again, we're in a corner. And now we're going to do, again, another 3 double crochets. And this was a corner, so we need a chain of 2. Wiggle that over, and now we're going to do, again, 3 double crochets. Guys, if you are new this morning, welcome. First of all, my name is April. And when on days like this, when I'm doing kind of these complicated stitches, I do miss a lot of the comments. We have a great group of folks here. They will try to help answer the questions. It's kind of a lot for me to keep up with the comments and show all the stitches. So if I miss your comment, please do not take it personal. I do come live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. This morning we're making this cute little flower square, and we'll do a few of these. This is the first one we've started today. Again, thank you for the follows. Thank you to the new followers. It was a very exciting weekend for me. I hit 8,000 followers. I was like, wow, this is so incredible. So I started doing my crochet and going live in July. July 5th was my first time, and it has been so rewarding. So anyhow, I felt like that was a big milestone for me. So thank you to everyone who supports me and the channel, and who's so kind to everybody here every morning as we're crocheting along. So again, I put the next petal forward, and here we are with another stitch marker. So I'm going to pop that out, and now because it's a corner, we know we need 3 double crochets, and we need a chain of 2. Kind of wiggle that over if you need to, and then another 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, put that little petal back up. So you want this first round that we're doing of the square, we want this to, kind of sit behind and almost be like invisible in the square. So that's why it sits so close. So let's do our final side here. Put the petal forward. Here's our little chain we made. And again, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Thank you for the follow. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm going to tell you all about the fair in just a moment when we get to some of these. We're going to get to a row here where I'm not going to have to do a lot of explaining, and so that's a good time for us to kind of visit. So I join with a slip stitch here to the first stitch. Now I want to work my way over into this corner, so I just am going to continue doing slip stitches until I get over to that corner. Okay, so there we are. There's our little flower and our little square. Now again, ignore the little tails, guys. Normally, I definitely encourage you, as you are working on these little flowers, take the time to weave in your ends so none of this is in your way. Okay, it'll make a big difference as you're trying to work on these. Okay, so now if we go back to our little yellow flower here, you can see here's the exact same side that we had, and then all I did for the next round, and you can see here is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then I just put a double crochet in the top of each stitch, and then after that I did a row of single crochets all the way around. You don't have to do this row of single crochets. It's just something that I like to do on my granny squares, so it's totally your call. You don't have to do that. So I'm going to start here in the corner, and I'm going to start with a chain of 3. That counts as my first double crochet. Then I'm going to do another double crochet, chain 2, and now into the corner again, 2 more double crochets. So that's our corner. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now I need to work along this side here, and we're just going to put a double crochet in the top of each of these stitches. Now if you're new to crochet, when you look at the top of stitches, you can see they have 2 little bars, and they look like a V if you put your scissors under there. So it's kind of 2 V's, or two, it kind of looks like a sideways V, I guess you could say. One of the big things that beginners will make a mistake on is you will think that this stitch here is the first stitch. I don't know how easy that is to see on the camera. When you're looking at crochet stitches, this is called the legs of this stitch. And what you have to do is you have to follow the legs of the stitch up. The top of this stitch always sits to the right, and sometimes this top of the stitch will get hidden under your corner stitches. So this right here is actually the first stitch. So follow this up. Now into that first that was kind of hidden, you reveal that, and then you do your double crochet. And now you work all the way around, just putting a double crochet in the top of each of these stitches. So just don't let that first stitch, if you find that your counts get off on a pattern or something, a lot of times it will be because that first stitch that gets hidden sometimes gets overlooked. So it's just a good reminder to look for the legs of that stitch, and then go for the top of that stitch. Good morning, everybody. So today we're making a flower granny square, and these are going to be for a baby blanket. It's going to take a ton of these. They're very small. I am using a 3-weight yarn. I think it's a 3-weight. It's called, oh gosh, what's it called? Sweet Delight. Baby Bee Sweet Delight. It's by Yarn Bee. You get it at Hobby Lobby. This isn't my favorite yarn to use. I find it to be rather staticky. I find it to knot up very quickly, and I feel like I'm always trying to unravel knots. The thing is, it's incredibly soft, and so it is fabulous for a baby blanket. And it comes in a number of colors, and so I do like it for all of the baby colors. So even though I'm not like a super big, it's not my favorite yarn, I still will use it. But I do get it at Hobby Lobby for this project, and I have a variety of colors. So I've got a dark pink, lavender, yellow, a light pink, like a very pale pink, a green, a blue, and then I found an aqua blue in my stash as well. I'll do that one next. I haven't made any of the aqua color, but it's really pretty. And so I have made blankets with this yarn, and like I said, I had all these colors in my stash. So it is a nice yarn. It is called Baby Bee, like Bumblebee, Sweet Delight. It's part of the Yarn Bee collection at Hobby Lobby. And so it is really pretty though. And I do love all the different colors. So here's pink, yellow, lavender, here's the pale pink, blue, green. So there are a lot of fun colors, and I'm doing them all for this blanket. I was only going to do blue and green, and then it's a lot of blue and green, and so I have a lot of the blue and green ones made, but now I'm adding the other colors just because I needed a little variety. It's like I said, this blanket I will work on for a long time. I don't know that this blanket will even get done in 2024, to be honest with you. It's a lot of these little squares. I started it at the beginning of this year, and it'll definitely push into next year just because I get bored with the little squares and I have to put it to the side and then I'll come back to it. So I might work on it for a few weeks and then I'll move off to something else. But yes, Betty, I have seen all the sales at Hobie. As you guys know, I love Hobie. And for our subscriber giveaway this month, I'm giving away a pack of Hobie Friends cotton. It's the multi-pack that has the pink and the purple. You guys saw me make the market bag with that yarn. And I'm giving away that as a subscriber giveaway on the 30th. So I'm going to put all the names of all the subscribers on one of those spinny wheels and we'll shuffle it up. And you do need to be in the United States for that subscriber giveaway. And I'm not publishing it. It's just, I think we have like 6 subscribers now on the channel. So I really appreciate that. There's Pam popping up. Pam is a subscriber. So when you see on the feed, if they have a little star with a sub, those are the subscribers. Those are the folks that will be eligible to participate in the yarn giveaway. And like I said, it's basically a pack of 10 little skeins of the Friends cotton. And I appreciate all the support. You know, being on a subscriber is certainly not a requirement, but I really appreciate everybody who takes the time to support me, and not just, you know, financially with the gifts and stuff, but, you know, people that just take the time to tap their screen. We always end up with so many screen taps on the live, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I know sometimes you guys are at work when I'm crocheting and it's hard to tap your screen, but I just appreciate all the support. So it's just a little something to appreciate all of the subscribers. And so it'll be a pack of that. I'm going to do that drawing on the 30th. I was going to do it on the 31st, which is the last day of the month. That's a Thursday, but since it's Halloween, I thought everybody might be busy Halloween, getting ready if you have children. So it might not be the best day to do the subscriber giveaway, but you don't have to be present to win. If you win and you're not on the live, I'll DM you and you can give me your address. But if you could be in the lower 48 for shipping as well. So definitely US and in the lower 48, and we'll give that away. And then for next month's subscriber giveaway, one of my buddies on TikTok, he had a link to one of the yarn winders. And next month's subscriber giveaway will be a yarn winder. I already have one, but I wanted to buy one to support his channel. And I thought, oh, that would be a good subscriber giveaway. So next month I'll give away a yarn winder. So anyhow, that's a little about that. If you are new to my channel, everything that I'm working on the lives is listed in my link tree. And to get to the link tree, you can just go to my page. So you click up here on the little dog, and then a bar will come up on the bottom. Click on the little dog again, and you will see a little profile picture, a bio. Underneath that, it says HTTPS link tree. And the link tree has everything that I'm working on today. It has a link to the live, or excuse me, to the yarn. It has a link to the video of the video tutorial and everything that I'm working on today, along with all of the other lives in the past and also upcoming lives. So keep that in mind. If you're a new follower, you can always have access to that. So during the live, you can just kick back and chat with friends and watch me crochet, and then go back and access that information later if you want to. So there's a little bit about that. Let's see. I'm trying to get all these done while I have the time to talk. Right now I'm just doing a single crochet all the way around. I'm doing a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the corner, and I'm just placing a very simple single crochet in the top of every stitch. Now for tomorrow, I'm going to be working on a baby blanket. I was going to do a little girl baby blanket, but my friend, her grandson came early, and so He was born Sunday night. And so the blanket that I started last week, I am turning that into a little boy blanket. And I'll be working on that project tomorrow on the live. I worked on it a little bit last night after work, even though I was tired. So this is what the baby blanket looks like so far. And like I said, you guys all watched me do this project on the live. We worked on this stitch, which was a new one. And then I've started adding the blue to make it a little boy. So I'm working on the edging now, and I'll resume this tomorrow on the live. So I wanted to do peach color, but hey, life happens, right? We've got a new baby. Time to switch hats and make it a little boy blanket. So it'll be really cute. And then on Thursday, I am working on another brand new kid blanket. It's going to be the Study of Snow, which is another pattern that I worked on last week. So I'll have a couple of Study of Snow projects in the works, but I thought I was buying the regular ice cream yarn that I like so much for baby blankets. I caught it on sale, and I don't know, I guess I wasn't paying attention, and it's ice cream roving yarn, which I've never even heard of, but it's fluffy. It's ice cream yarn that's kind of puffy and fluffy, and my package came in from, I think I got it at Mary Maxim on sale or something, and I was like, well, this is not what I was thinking I was buying, but it's cool yarn. What am I going to do with this? So anyhow, I'll be working on that on Thursday, and I did a little mock sample of it, and it's looking really good. I'm very excited about it, actually. So I just joined with a slip stitch to the very corner here, and now I'm going to snip off, and that completes our little square, our little flower. So again, once you weave in your tails on the back, it'll clean up all of this, and it'll have it looking really pretty on the back as well. And so again, that's why you want to keep these kind of tight. So you want this to be snug fitting to your square. So that's our little flower square. And welcome. I saw somebody just popped in and followed. Thank you to the new followers this morning. For those that don't know, my name is April. I'll kind of show you all the little colors we're working on here. And I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings from 7:30 to 9 Central Time. Now, guys, these little squares will iron out flat once you start sewing them together. I was just playing around here with a couple pink. I thought maybe I would do just a solid pink blanket. I don't know. I'm just kind of brainstorming, playing around, but I'm working on all the different colors. And I had started on the just blue and green, but I'll show you this so you can kind of see it does iron. They do like lay flat after you get them kind of sewn together. Now obviously these have been kind of in my bag here, a little watered up, so some of the flowers aren't super flat right now, but they do iron themselves out pretty flat. So I'm going to deconstruct all this, frog it out, and then I'm going to, like I said, do all of the colors. So I'm going to start another center now. The hook size that I'm using today is a size D or 3, and it's 3¼ millimeter. So it's a pretty small hook. Like I said, this is a 3-weight yarn. It's a pretty fine yarn. But you could do this with a 4-weight yarn as well. They would all work. And so now Anvil said, I subscribed and now I can pin comments. Isn't that weird, Anvil? I don't understand what TikTok is doing with that. It sure makes it hard on our moderators. Anvil is the moderator. And I think Gen X is helping moderate too. So I appreciate our monitors. It really helps me a lot, especially as I'm, rambling on and talking and trying to crochet and answer questions. You guys are amazing. So Thank you, thank you. So maybe while I'm working on this flower center, we could do a little poll of what color we want to do next. Do you guys, one of the mods, do you think you could figure out how to do a poll? I know it's kind of fun when we do that. So we have all these colors. Now I do have an aqua blue too. Here's the aqua color, and I haven't made any of the aquas yet, but these are our color choices if we want to do a poll, what color you guys want to see next. So blue, lavender, green, yellow, light pink, dark pink. We just did dark pink, so let's not do that one again. I like to have a little variety in my life. This yarn is Baby Bee Sweet Delight, and it's a 3-weight yarn. It's a very soft yarn. It is really nice for making baby blankets, but I will tell you, it's not my favorite yarn. It's very, like I said, it's very soft, and so it tends to get knotted up very easily, and I don't like that part about it, but it does have nice colors, and so I will, go ahead and use the yarn, but it's definitely not my favorite baby yarn. But the colors are really pretty, and so sometimes you'll sacrifice, if you want certain colors. So everybody's saying aqua. Okay, we're going to do the aqua next. So I'm going to start in the center. We are making these little squares, and I'm going to sew all of these squares together, and they will be a baby blanket. So right now we're just making flower squares, and it's going to take a lot of these. These are very small squares. I hope the end result is a very delicate looking blanket, but like I said, this will take me a long time to work on this blanket. This is something that you just don't get done overnight. It's a very small hook, small yarn, small squares, and so this will take quite a while for me to work on this project. So the first thing I do, well, let me start from the beginning, so I'm going to start with a magic ring, okay? And I like to do two loops in my magic ring. Then I'm going to start with a standing half double crochet into my magic ring. My magic ring got a little wonky. And the yarn is kind of splitty. See how it's, can you guys see how it like does that? So anyhow, it's okay. It's, like I said, it's an okay yarn. It's not my fave. Okay, then I do another half double crochet. Then I chain one. Now I'm going to do another grouping of 2. So right now what we're making is the very center of the flower. And we're going to do a total of 8 groups of 2 with a chain in between each one. And I know my hand kind of covers this up, guys. It's very small when I'm first starting out. Hey, Donna. Donna's in South Georgia. Welcome from Northeast Alabama. It's a nice sunny day here for us. I hope everybody's having a great week. It's been beautiful this week here for us. And I was watching Ryan Hall, y'all, my man that I love so much, my little weatherman. He was saying that for Halloween it's going to be like so warm. Hey, Sparky, good morning. So again, guys, I'm doing 2 half double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 half double crochets. Now, the other thing is you don't have to necessarily turn these little flowers into a square. I have taken these and I've just sewed them as an applique onto a baby hat. I have sewn them as an applique onto a baby blanket. And so you don't have to, do this white around. You could just keep the little flower and it makes a nice little applique. So, okay, let me do a count here. I need 8 groups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more. So I'm just going to move this to the side, make myself a little more room. And again, 2 half doubles. And as I mentioned before, you could do a double crochet instead of a half double if you want. I'm just trying to keep my flowers very tiny and delicate. But you could do the same with a double crochet. Okay, so once you have 8, now I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the very first stitch, and then I'm going to work myself over here into the corner, and I'm going to snip off. Hey, there's Mama Wheeler. JC Math is in the house. Good morning, good morning. Wow, 18,000 likes this morning. You guys are tapping that screen. Thank you so much. I gotta move this tub. Ugh. I think okay, and we've got to do our little puzzle piece here. At least the puzzle piece is working. Okay, we snipped off. Let me turn this just a little bit. Okay, now you can tighten your magic ring. When I'm working with these small of squares or small pieces, I tend to leave my magic ring open like this. It just gives me a little more to hang on to. Okay, so you don't have to close your magic ring as soon as you're done. You know, you could leave it open. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start on the petals now. So if we look at our little example, we had 8 of the whites in the center, 8 groups of 2, so a total of 16. Now we're going to do these little dimensional petals. And these are made by doing a chain of 3, and then some double crochets, and then a chain of 3. So, you know, we want them to be like, we want them to look like they're sitting on the square. And that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to start with the aqua blue. I found this in the stash this weekend, and I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. So however you do a slip knot. Now I'm going to pick a spot on my magic ring that we did, and I'm going to go into the space that we created by doing those chains, the chain of 1, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now into this same space, I'm going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So this is the first side of our flower. Now we need to finish the other side of our petal here. So we're going to, again, chain 3. If I cannot split my yarn. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to go back down into that hole, drag up a loop, and I'm just going to pull it through as a slip stitch. Okay, so there's our first little petal. So when you do this chain of 3, it helps make this rounded. If all you did was your double crochets, it would just look kind of flat. It would just kind of look flat on the side. So by adding these chains of 3, that's how you make it look like a little petal. Okay, now we need to go to the next space, and we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and then into the next space we're just going to get set up to work there. So I pull up a loop, and then I pull it through for a slip stitch. We want that to be very flat as we get prepared for the next petal. So now the next petal, we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now into this same space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. This is what I was meaning by it knots up this yarn. So just be aware of that if you choose to use this yarn. You have to be patient with it because it knots up a lot. Okay, so I did 1 double crochet. Now we need another double crochet. Here's number 3. And now we need a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. This finishes the side of our little petal here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back down into this space, draw up a loop, and then I'm just going to pull it through as a slip stitch, okay? So that helps kind of secure the side of that petal to the center of the flower, okay? This pattern is on my link tree. This is something that I came up with, Betty, and there's a TikTok tutorial of how to do this, but the link is on my link tree. I think the tutorial I did was a pink flower. So again, we do the little slip stitch, and then we do a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now into this same space here, we need to do 3 double crochets. I really am digging this aqua color. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so now I need a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we have to secure this chain of 3 down into our little space here. So I put my hook through, draw up a loop, and then I just pull it through. So a little slip stitch. Now here's our next 2 stitches. I need to skip over those and go into the next space and get ready for our next petal. So again, I'm going to do a slip stitch. We just want that to stay nice and flat. If you do anything taller, like a single crochet, it'll interfere with the look of your petals. So now we're ready to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now into this space again, we're going to do 3 double crochets. We're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to secure that with a slip stitch right into the center. Okay, we're going to move to the next space now. Draw up a loop, again a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now again we're going to secure that, go right into this space, draw up a loop, and pull it straight through. Slip stitch. And now slip stitch into the next space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now 3 double crochets, 1, there's 2, and 3. Now we need a chain of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, Pauline, what was the question? I'm sorry, guys. If I missed some comments while I'm doing these little flowers, it's not intentional. I'm not trying to ignore you. It's hard to count on these and do it. So feel free to ask again if I missed your question. And I still haven't answered about the fair, but I did well in the fair, guys. 2, 3. I ended up with 6 first place, 2 second place, and 1 third place. I did put a video out on Sunday, so you can see each of the different projects that I entered. Those are on TikTok. There's a video if you want to see the exact, but the fair was very, very good again this year. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of entries, a lot of competition this year. So one thing that was kind of cool, I was talking to one of the gals there as I was picking up my stuff yesterday. So I got my stuff back yesterday, and my priority for this weekend is to work on the Rosebud Baby Blanket video. So thank you all so much for being patient with me on that project. I did get the the blanket back yesterday, Sunday. And so Now I just need to work on that. So once you finish your final petal here, the one thing you need to remember to do is you still need to do your slip stitch to kind of close this space here. It'll just look aesthetically nicer. Okay, so do a last little slip stitch. Okay, I'm going to pull this up, and now you can close your magic ring. I mean, you could close it before too. It's really up to you. I just find it works a little better if I wait until I kind of have a little more to hang on to with the magic ring. So there's our little flower with the center and all of our little dimensional petals. So now what we need to do, sorry, the baby hat got a first place. So if we look at our little square here, now what we need to do is we need to add a foundation chain on the back so that we can turn this into a square. So whenever you have a dimensional flower or something like this, one of the projects that was in the fair, there was 2 sunflower blankets, and I believe they were constructed similar to this because those were dimensional sunflowers. But I've done this same type of structure with, I don't know if I can reach it, my star that I'm gonna do. I want to make the star dig out. We're out on the Ring of Madness. So if we look at this star square, it's the same concept, right? I did the chains. This is a little bigger so you can kind of see it better. But I do these chains, and then you're able to go into those chains on the back and make the square structure. So in this case, this star was the most complicated thing I've ever done. The flower is very easy because we have 8 petals, and basically we can turn that into a 4-sided object, right? Very easily. 8 divided by 2 is 4. With something like a star like this, it's, 5 sides. So mathematically, it's a lot more complicated, but the concept is the same. So here, if we look at the back of the star, you can see, and again, guys, this is just a brainstorm, right? But again, here we have kind of the square that we're going to be doing. So if we look at this, now of course I haven't woven in the ends, but we're going to do the same little foundation chains here, and then we're going to, so these are like, right? Can you visualize how it is now? And so let's do that. So we're not done with this blue yet, this aqua, even though you think you are. So we need to tighten this back up. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to work on the back of this square. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for this first grouping of 2 stitches that we had. And I'm going to split those 2 stitches and put my hook all the way through and draw up a loop. And then I'm going to slip stitch so that it stays nice and flat. Now you want these chains, as you make them, to be very flush to your work. They can't be too big and sticking out, or your flower will be dangling on your square and it won't work as well. So here is a chain of 3. Now again, I'm going to move to this next space here where these 2 white stitches are. I'm going to split those, draw up a loop. Again, you want this nice and snug, okay? So again, a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to move to the next space, same thing, in between these 2 white stitches. Put my hook through, draw up a loop, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, here's our next grouping. slip stitch, 1, 2, 3. Here's our next grouping. Slip stitch, 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. And this is back where I started. I'm still going to do the little slip stitch here to secure this one. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to go ahead and snip off. Okay, so that completes our little foundation chain. This is what it's looking like on the front. So kind of when I go through and split those, when I first started doing that, I wasn't doing it. But I like how it kind of splits this center of the flower apart. When I first started doing them, I wasn't splitting them like that. See how these are more closed off? I like the look of this better. It looks more lacy and delicate to me. So that's why I started going in between those 2 stitches. You can see the difference there. Either way would be fine. Okay, now what we need to do is we're going to add some stitch markers and identify the corners. So for Hey Mama C, the colors that I have are all of this. I have blue, lavender, yellow, pink. I had a green somewhere. Green, did I show green before? No, green, light pink, and then the aqua that we're working on right now. So those are all the colors that I have. They're pretty, huh? I like them. I think they're awesome. So, okay, so now what we need to do, now guys, as you're working on these flowers, make sure you're going in and weaving in your ends, okay? It'll make it a lot less confusing and cumbersome for you as you're working on these. So anyhow, I'm going to find the first stitch here, just go under one of them, and I put a stitch marker. That's going to be a corner of my square. Now I'm going to skip one here, and then into the next, I'm going to put another stitch marker. So that's going to be another corner. Now I'm going to skip one and then into the next one. Again, place a stitch marker. That's another corner. And then we're going to skip one. This should be our final corner. And if you counted right, you'll have another one here. So these stitch markers are the 4 corners of our square. Okay? Now, it's very important when you go to start the white. I'm gonna fire back up the white here. Let's move this blue out of our way. Where's my white? I'm going to start with a slip stitch on my hook. And you want to choose a corner. And one thing that I always forget to do, guys, because I mark this on the back, I will immediately start working on the back of the square into these chains, and that's wrong. What you have to do is make sure you put the pretty front of your flower back facing you. Then I fold the petal down. I remove my stitch marker. This tells me this is a corner. And I'm going to put a standing double crochet into this corner. If you don't know how to do a standing double crochet, you could tie on and do a chain of 3. That is totally fine as well. You don't have to do a standing double crochet. So I do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. That is the corner of our square. Okay, so there's our little corner. Put back up our little petal, put down the next petal, and now we're immediately going to move into that chain space with 3 double crochets. This is the side. The sides get only 3. Now I'm going to put down the next petal. Oh, here's another stitch marker, so that tells us we're back to the corner. Now into the corner we need 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. Thank you for the gift. And thank you for all the likes this morning. Wow, you guys are almost at 24,000 likes. You guys are amazing. So here's the whole first side of our square. If we put down the little petals, you can kind of see it. Here's a corner, and here's the little side. So we're just going to keep working this around, putting down the petals. There's our little foundation chain that we added. So again, we're going to do 3 double crochets. This is the side of the square now. There's 3. Put back up our petal, put down the next one. Here we are, stitch marker. So again, that tells us that this is the corner of the square. And the corners, we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. And now 3 double crochets. And as I mentioned before, guys, you don't have to turn these into squares. If you wanted just to take this little cute flower and put it on, if you make a baby hat, or even if you make, you know, an adult, you don't have to do it in baby colors. You could do it, you know, on any type of project. Maybe you make a little amigurumi and you want a little flower on, you know, a little skunk or something, you know, whatever. These flowers are good to, you know, have in your little bag of crochet tricks, if you will, because they come in handy for a number of different things, not just for these little baby squares. Again, here we are. This is our final corner. Pop out the stitch marker. And now again, into the corner, we need 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, and here we are on the last, oh goodness, I'm gonna have to deal with this knot. Okay. Okay, here we are back to the side. If this thing would cooperate with me. Working on these small squares is challenging, you know? Especially having to tie on in the middle is really annoying to me. But it happens. Okay. So here we are on the side, 3 double crochets. Between all my ends I haven't woven in. It's almost a nightmare over here. Okay. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the very first stitch. and I'm just working with a slip stitch over until I get to the corner. Okay, so there is how our little square looks at this point. And this first round of this square is intended to be kind of tucked behind. And of course I had to tie on so we have even more tails, but that's what it looks like from the back. So it does look clean. Once I weave in all of these tails, it does look a lot cleaner. Here's one that is woven in, so you can kind of see once you get it, it does look nice. Okay, so now we're ready to start the next round. And this is a very easy round. So you kind of do all this, hard work with the flower. But then when we do this round here, you can see here we do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then I just put a double crochet in the top of each of these stitches. So I wanted this to be nice and flat and solid. I just felt like it really helped to make the flower kind of pop. I didn't want a bunch of holes and spaces there. So I'm going to start with a chain of 3. That chain of 3 counts as my first double crochet. Then I do another double crochet, and then into that same corner 2 more double crochets. So that's our corner. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now into the very first stitch I need to put another double crochet. And if you're new to crochet, sometimes the first stitch here will get buried in your corner. So the one thing you want to watch for, you follow the legs of this stitch up. So this is the first stitch here. This is called the legs. Sometimes, like I said, this little stitch here gets buried, and so you'll naturally want to go into this one. The top of your crochet stitch always sits to the right. So not this one is where we put our double crochet. That's our first stitch. And if you find you're working on a pattern and your counts get off, a lot of times if you're a beginner, it will be because you missed that very first stitch out. So it's something to definitely watch for. Mama Wheeler did crochet her hat. I need to post it on the Discord. She was going to send me a couple pictures. I'll put it on the Discord and you guys can see it. Thank you, Danny. Thank you for the gifts this morning, guys. I hope everybody's having a good week. Did everybody see Danny's project on the Discord? Hey, for those that don't know, I'm over here talking about the Discord. I guess I should say what it is. So for those that are not familiar, the Discord is our crochet chat server. And Macy, I don't know if Macy's on this morning, but Macy is moderating the Discord for us, and she's doing a fabulous job. And anyhow, there's a link on the link tree if you want to join the crochet chat server. There's a bunch of us on there. I think, like I said, I think we're up to 80 people on the Discord. And so the reason why I created it is when you DM in TikTok, you can't share pictures, and I found it incredibly annoying because, as crocheters, we want to share our works in progress, and we want to see what everybody is working on, and we don't necessarily want to make a whole video to show on our page. Sometimes we just want to have a question. If I had a question on this square, I want to be able to be like, hey, you see this? What do you guys think? Or something like that. And so the Discord allows us to share pictures and chat back and forth, and we can video talk. And so anyhow, if you're interested, a Discord server is used a lot in like online gaming and stuff. It's been around for quite a while. And so many people are familiar with the Discord, but we do have a Discord crochet server. And the link is on the link tree if you're interested in joining the crochet server. Like I said, Macy is on there moderating, and I'm on there a lot posting, works in progress. But a lot of our group members are on there as well, posting, you know, their works in progress, their completed projects, and we have posts about yarn and patterns and all sorts of fun stuff. So if you'd like to get on the Discord, feel free to do that. The link is in the link tree. And it's free, you know, it's just a way for us to get on there and chat back and forth. It's fun. And there is pictures of the county fair, but I did release a video of the county fair as well. So I did get all of my stuff back on Sunday, and the dinosaur hat that I forgot to look, you know, check and see what I won when I was there with my husband. The little hat actually got a first place in the crochet hat category. So anyhow, pretty cool. Very fun experience. Loved the county fair. It was super. You know, it was busy the night that we went. There was kids everywhere. It was the night they were showing the baby sheep. The kids were showing their sheep. It was so they're so cute. You know, those sheep are, even though the sheep are babies, they're still bigger than the kids, you know, and we got to go through the chicken house, and it was just a lot. It's just a lot of fun. So you think I only chained one in that corner? I think I did two. I don't know. It looks like two. It might have been this one. It won't matter when I sew them together, but thank you. It'll be all right when I sew it together. You won't even notice. I'm gonna put another round outside of this, so stuff like that I'll let slide. Let's see. I just joined. Can you show how the flower part again? Yeah, Julie, I'm gonna make another whole one of these. I don't have to leave for work until 9:30, so I'm just trying to get through this square, guys. All I'm doing right now is a double crochet all the way around, and then I need to do a single crochet, and then I'm going to make another flower. So what you all have to decide while I'm finishing this, somebody take a tally or something, because I'm going to try to fly through this rather quickly. So here I am. I finished the row of double crochets. Now I'm going to do a row of single crochets, and there is a full tutorial of this on my TikTok, guys. It's linked on the link tree if you can't find it. I'm going to do a single crochet, chain two, single crochet in the corner. Now into the top of each of these stitches, I'm just going to place a single crochet. And like I said, I'm going to go through this rather quickly because I do want to have time to make another flower for those that are just joining on. This is our second flower that we've made this morning, but we have time for one more. I don't know if I'll have time to do all the white border, but I certainly have time for this square if I breeze through this. So what you all need to decide is what color flower are we going to do next. We already did a pink this morning, and we did this aqua color. I have a ton of the blue and green already, but we could do light pink, yellow, purple, like lavender color. So you all shout out what you all want to see for the next color. And somebody tally it up, and as I'm crocheting this, when I get done, I'll know what the plan is. Poll for the color is in the top corner. So up here, Anvil made a poll. If you click on that little blue thing, it says 45 seconds. It's counting down. No, I don't have a peach. I want to get a peach. I think they might have peach color of this. Arlene, I need to get the peach because I think that would be a fun color to have for this. I have peach in other yarns, but I really want the same type of yarn. Anyhow, everybody go vote on the poll that Anvil made, and that'll tell us what color square to do next. I love the little polls. The little polls are so fun. I a lot of times when I have polls pre-created, just because I'm curious, like who likes inline hooks and who likes tapered hooks, you know, that kind of stuff, or like how long have you been crocheting type thing. Lavender, 44%. All right, lavender it is. We have a winner. Thank you, Anvil, for doing that. Thank you, Anvil's. I really appreciate Anvil taking the time to moderate, and Gen X too helps moderate. I really appreciate it, ladies. You guys really make it easier for me to do my job of crocheting here, and I know everybody else on the feed appreciates it too. So shout out to the mods. Thank you, thank you. You make my life easier. So anyhow, I'm almost done here with this last round. Get the little results of the poll out of my face here. And like I said, we're almost done, so I'm going to have time to do another flower. Now, guys, if you're just hopping on, I'm making these for a baby blanket. And this is going to be a blanket that I work on for a very, very long time. I'm going to end the live here, I think, on the YT. It's having problems. I ordered a new iPhone. I did look at that software that you guys mentioned about being able to do both YT and TikTok at the same time, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. Okay, so I just joined with a slip stitch. Now I'm going to snip off, and thank you everyone who's been on the YT watching me this morning. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little tutorial, and I will be on again tomorrow working on a baby blanket. So I'm going to end the YT now. Are you sure you want to end streaming?